Blog Talk Radio.
Broadcasting from Cincinnati, you're listening to the Ringside Reporter Podcast. All the news from the world of boxing right here.
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you.
Now, here's your host, Eric Lorda.
And we are live. Happy Mother's Day to everyone. Welcome to the Ringside Reporter Show, where we talk about the latest boxing news. If it's related to boxing, we'll talk about it here. My name is Eric Lorda, and I'm here with my co-host, Ringside Robert, and England's adopted son, Joe Habib. We have a great show for you today, and if you want to call and ask questions, you can call in now at 323-870-3857. And we're going to be here till when? 9 o'clock tonight. Why, Beeb? Boom. Unbelievable. Game of Thrones coming on. Beeb, I can't wait. We're only down to 2 episodes.
Yep, 2.
Just 2.
Please, Robbie. I mean, I can't believe I can't believe that but there's going to be spin-offs, though.
You think so?
I already heard there was.
Oh, wow. Spin-offs of who?
Game of Thrones show. Oh, why you got the camera on me? Let me stand up and show everyone.
You're looking sharp today. Here,
the Ringside Reporter. The Ringside Reporter. You see it? The Ringside Reporter T-shirt. The link is in the description. The link's in the description box. And I'll tell you, if you go to the
stand up again. Let me take this banner off here. Look at that. Is that beautiful or what? Look at that shirt.
The Ringside Reporter T-shirt.
Unbelievable.
Beautiful. Look at that.
Unbelievable.
The link is in the description box. Support the Ringside Reporter. And, if you go to the link, you hit the coupon code, you get like $3 off the shirt. It comes out with the shipping to be about $15. I'm sure everyone can spare $15 to support their favorite podcast. And not only that, a lot of money does go into this show, believe it or not. We have to pay for the blog talk. We have to pay for the software that we use for the show. We actually do pay for the Skype number because we are using Skype for us, and we are still working on Skype for you guys. We have a plan in place for that, and we will get that squared away. But I mean, we don't usually ask for money. But I mean, if everyone could every now and then give us a $1 super chat here and there, it goes a long way because it'll only go right back into the show because this is coming out of our pockets. Eric puts a lot of money into the show, and he does a lot of work on the back end. So if you could support us, buy a T-shirt or give us a super chat, even for $1 every now and then. Sometimes we have 50 people in the chat. If everyone gave us $1, that would go a long way, and it would help us pay off the blog talk and help us pay the software monthly charge that we have and help us pay off the Skype. And, Eric and I plan on going to some fights too, so we can, that's going to come out of our own pocket too. So every little bit helps. And, if guys could chip in a little bit here and there for us, we greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate it. So just wanted to put that out there. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, man. Well said. Very well said.
Make sure that you check out megafitmeals.com by clicking the link in the description box. Megafit Meals is a family-owned meal delivery service that provides healthy meal options that have been weighed out, measured, and cooked with the highest quality ingredients. The people over at Megafit Meals have been in the food business for over 43 years, and they truly believe that the quality of food you eat can have an impact on your overall health and fitness. The goal at MegaFit is to bring value to your life by providing high-quality, delicious food that makes you feel good. So make sure that you click that link and give them a try.
Absolutely.
Very well said. Look at that.
Check out MegaFit Meals.
Professional, son.
Link is in the description box for that too.
Beeb, lay the track down.
And you guys will get a free T-shirt if you purchase 12 meals.
A MegaFit Meals T-shirt.
MegaFit Meals T-shirt.
All right, so today we're going to talk about Manny Pacquiao versus Keith Thurman is signed, sealed, and delivered. We'll have the latest. What are your thoughts on that? Pretty good fight, no?
I can't wait because Keith, one-time Thurman, is going to be Keith without a belt Thurman afterwards.
Wow. All right, Robbie, always calling a shot. And boxing, unfortunately, loses a couple of legends this week, man. This was sad, man. This was real sad. But first, we get started with Jarrett Hurd versus Julian J. Rock Williams for Hurd's WBA and IBF Junior Middleweight title. J. Rock Williams scored a 12-round unanimous decision upset by the scores of 116-111, 115-112 twice. I tell you what, I was real surprised at this one. I was real surprised. I expected Hurd to come in there, do what Hurd does, press him, get him up against the ropes, turn on the pace, and just wear him down. Didn't work out that way, man. Williams started strong, stayed the aggressor, knocked him. What is he? He knocked her down. What was it? The
second round.
Second round.
Okay. Second round, yeah.
And put him on his behind in the second round, man. Both fighters, were putting in really good shots, but it was J-Rock, to me, who landed the harder shots. He was landing those overhand rights at will, and you just cannot take those the entire fight. I mean, you may be able to take quite a few of those, but, man, you're not going to be able to take that all night. And he couldn't because his output was down. Everything was down, I don't know, man. This was definitely a shocker, man. Hurd definitely had his moments where he came in and it looked like there it is. He's gonna utilize his pressure, but he wasn't getting. He was also just getting hit too clean. Huge win for Julian Williams for me anyway. I thought it was a big win for him, and he kind of outdid Hurd at his own game. Kind of beat Hurd at his own game because I thought for a majority of the fight that Julian Williams was the aggressor. He was the one putting Hurd on the ropes. When Hurd would get ahead of steam, come in, J-Rock would turn him with footwork and put him right on the ropes again and just bang him out. And J-Rock looked to be in great shape for this fight. I mean, everybody, seems to tire down the stretch, especially against Jarrett Hurd. Not the case here, man. Not the case here. He went to his hometown, did him right there in his hometown. Jarrett Hurd did say there was a rematch clause, and he's going to exercise it, so that's the fight we will probably see next. This is just, and I was talking to Beeb about this before we went on the air. This was one of those things where combat math just doesn't work. Because you look at the fight with Julian Williams and Charlo, and you say Jarrett Hurd is going to steamroll this guy. And it didn't work out that way. It's styles that make fights. That's why combat math never works. You know what I mean? It just doesn't, So, because again, like I said, man, Julian Williams was a huge underdog in this fight. I don't know if maybe Beeb has the numbers, but I don't know what kind of underdog he was, but I know he was big. So I had the fight. I think I had it 7 rounds to 5, and that was, I mean, some people actually had Hurd winning the fight. I couldn't see Hurd at any point winning this fight.
No.
But I read some people thought that he won the fight or whatever. But, I don't know, man. I thought Williams did a great job. Beeb, what did you think of Williams' performance? What do you think? And what do you think Hurd? Was this just a bad day for Hurd, or is this is a stylistic nightmare for Hurd? Which one?
I got some interesting things to say about this fight. First off, I had it wider than most. I had this fight, I believe, 10 rounds to 2, to be perfectly honest with you. I gave Hurd 2 rounds in this fight. Possibly you could have given him 3. I don't see how you could give him more than 3 rounds in this fight, but everyone that I talked to had this fight close. I mean, you scored at 7-5, the judges scored at 7-5, and one of the judges scored at 8-4. The announcers, I thought, were atrocious. They were totally disregarding what Williams was doing in this fight. Now, this is the thing about Jarrett Hurd. When you hear a guy say, well, I give away the first 2 rounds because I just want to see what the other guy has. And you remember in the other fight that he had, what was that guy he fought? The guy that he lost the first 2 rounds against, and then he knocked him out in the 3rd round.
I know who you're talking about. I can't picture him though, but I know who you're talking about.
The name escapes me at the moment. But this is the thing. Hurd's been allowed to be the bully his whole career, basically. He's bigger than most guys he fights, so he thinks that he could just walk through the smaller guys' punches, and he thinks he can walk in there with his hands down, not throw a jab, and suck guys into exchanges. And he feels as though even if he takes one or two of the shots, and he only lands one himself, that his one shot is going to make up for their two shots, because he feels as though he's the bigger guy, he's a stronger guy, he's the guy that can do the most damage. And in this case, you had a guy in there that wasn't really catching his shots flush, and when he did occasionally catch them flush, he took them very easily. But the reason why Williams was so able to take the shots yesterday is because you could tell that he really scouted Hurd. Like he knew what Hurd was going to do, and he was able to kind of roll shots, slip shots, and brace himself for a lot of these shots, because he expected Hurd to throw those wide clubbing type blows. And what he did was he would step inside and punch inside the wider shots, and he would punch with Hurd, and more often than not, Hurd would kind of, maybe graze him on the top of the head because he would get underneath it, or maybe he wouldn't hit him flush, or he would partially block it, but then he would come back and punch with him, and his shots were more precise. They were shorter, sharper, tighter, and they landed more flush, and he was also putting shots together. So he'd go to the body, then he'd come up with uppercuts, and then he'd come back with hooks. He was just throwing beautiful, beautiful combinations. When he would sneak that right hand, through the wide sweeping hook of Hurd, he would throw the right hand right in between that, and then after he threw the right hand, he'd shoot right down to the body, come back to the body, and he was doing little subtle things, just shortening up his shots just enough so he could get more leverage on his, and therefore knock Hurd a little bit off balance and take a lot of the steam out of Hurd's. So they would both start throwing punches at the same time, but you would see that Williams would get there before Hurd's, and then when Hurd's did eventually get there, he was already knocked out of position because Williams beat him to the punch. So this was a case, in my opinion, I don't want to say that he underestimated Williams, because he fights like this all the time. He thinks he could just walk guys down. He did it against Lara too. Gave him out. If he didn't get that knockdown in the last round against Lara, the fight would have been a draw. So I think he's had this mentality that, I'm 6'1", I'm fighting guys that are 5'9", 5'10" at the most, and these guys are smaller than me. They're not as big as me. They're not as strong as me. So I'm going to wear these guys down, and I'm going to outwill them. And he tried to outwill Williams in this fight, but Williams did not allow him to outwill him. And Williams not only outskilled him, but Williams outwilled him, because he, bit down on his mouthpiece. Every time Hurd would land an occasional shot, Williams came back with 2 or 3, and they were sharp, really hard shots. So I think this is a fight you could say, and this is a bold statement, but this is a fight that you could say maybe damaged Jarrett Hurd. Not really physically per se. He was busted up in the fight, don't get me wrong, but this is a fight that you could say maybe damaged him psychologically, because this guy's had an extensive amateur career, which he had about 25 professional fights now. He's going to have to go back to the drawing board and recreate himself. Will he be able to recreate himself and adapt a new mentality moving forward? What can he do differently in a rematch? This guy's not exactly Sugar Ray Leonard. He's not a slick boxer. And he beat guys with sheer grit and determination, and he beat them with size, strength, and pressure. Sort of like Antonio Margarito. But then when we saw once Antonio Margarito got knocked out by Shane Mosley, after that fight, he was never the same fighter again, because once you put a crack in that chandelier, it's easy to crack it a second time, and a third time, and a fourth time, and before you know it, the chandelier starts to shatter and fall apart. So could this be, one of those types of situations where Hurd may have been, I don't want to say he's been exposed, but could Could this be the fight that is a turning point in Jarrett Hurd's career, sort of like that Shane Mosley fight was the turning point in Antonio Margarito's career? Now guys are going to have a lot of confidence going in, and now you have to ask yourself, will Hurd still have that same confidence? Because he was a bully in there, not bully in terms of outside the ring being a bad person or being just being an unruly character, but in that ring he was the bully. He was the bully, and now he may not be that bully anymore. So what's going to happen moving forward? It's going to be interesting to see, but I may suspect that this is a fight that will change Hurd and damage him psychologically moving forward, and he's going to have to dig down deep to come back from this loss, because this was a bad loss. I thought he got beaten thoroughly yesterday. I didn't think this fight was close at all.
Yeah, it's the thing is with this is that again, man, I don't think it'll shake his confidence in the sense that he'll stop being the bully. He'll stop being. I mean, I still think he fights the same way, but he's got to figure something out here, because even though he's a pressure fighter, he was out pressured last night. That guy, and J-Rock was able to spin him at will and put him on the ropes. Every time he thought Jarrett Hurd was going to start coming on, he was getting hit with big overhand shots, full blast overhand shots. He got put down at one point. Man, I think he could still fight. I think that's the thing. I think Jarrett Hurd can still fight. The problem, again, though, is that, like you said, I mean, and you said it perfect, man, he had him scouted to the letter. J-Rock had him. He had his number last night. And, it's going to take, I mean, he exposed a lot on that guy. I mean, this was something, I mean, we were talking about Jarrett Hurd as being the best in that division. I'm better than Charlo, better than anybody else in the division. You know?
I was high on this kid.
Yeah. I mean, but after last night, man, you look at it, you're like, wow. And that's not to say J-Rock is a bad fighter. J-Rock's a really, really good fighter. But after he got handed to him in 5 rounds by Charlo, you figure, hey, man, this is kind of you're going to bite off a little bit more than you could chew here. At least maybe he goes more rounds, but the end result's still the same. No. I mean, again, he turned the pressure around on him, just outfought him. I mean, it was a perfect, whoever his corner was, and scouted that guy for him. Hey, man, that guy deserves a lot of credit. A lot of credit. Robert, what were your thoughts on this fight?
Well, J-Rock made a few good points. Apparently, during the fight week, when the Fox people interviewed him, you know how they talked to him before the fight, and he said, "Well, for the first time in my career, I, number one, went away from home, had training camp somewhere else, also hired a strength and conditioning coach." And he said those two things made a big difference in the way that he was prepared for this fight. And,
hey, Robert, I can't. Robert, you're breaking up on me. I can't. Let's see. I'm not sure what's going on here, but you're breaking up. Before we go any further, Manny Pacquiao, thank you so much, brother. That's amazing. Thank you very, very much, man.
Oh, thank you. Manny, that's awesome. Beautiful.
All right, I'm not sure what the deal is here. Hold on one second, guys, because Skype seems to be going haywire here. Our personal favorite Skype. Let's see here. Jason, do me a favor and shut up, or I'm going to time you out in the chat.
Do you want me to call in?
Robert, stop talking. Robert, stop talking. I'm trying to get this straight.
Good to me, Eric.
All right, let me. I hate Skype. All right, let me see what I can do here. Let's. All right, let me. Robert, I'm going to call you right back. So let me drop Robbie.
Yeah.
Let's see if that makes.
How do I sound, Eric?
What's that?
How do I sound?
You sound fine now.
Yeah, maybe it's Blog Talk. It could even be Blog Talk.
Yeah, it could be. All right, Joe. It seems like I think you're okay now, and it looks like we have good stream and everything like that. Robbie, what's the glitch? All right. I wonder if I have him call back through Blog Talk, if that'll make a difference.
Yeah, have him call back from Blog Talk.
Yeah. All right, Joe. I tell you what. While I'm doing that, Mario Barrios had a second round KO over Juan Jose Velasco. It's a vicious body shot, man. This guy looks pretty good. Now, Joe, have you seen Barrios fight before? Mario Barrios?
Yeah, he's a beast. He's a
Good
beast.
fighter, man. He's a pretty good prospect.
Yeah. He's ready for a title shot. He's definitely ready for a title shot.
Yeah, for sure.
Mario Barrios. Jason says Mario Barrios would beat Hooker. That's
maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. That would be a good fight. He could though, Jason. I think I would pick him over Hooker. But I like Hooker too, man. Hooker's good, man. Hooker's good. He's a slick fighter.
Yeah, he sure is. He's a good fighter. And then Matt Korobov versus Emmanuel Alim. This was, I tell you what, man, this was one of those fights where I saw it one way and judges saw it another way, man. I can't, and I try not to pile on judges too much, man, because, again, it's different when you're at ringside. You know what I mean? It's different when you're at ringside and you're watching the fight. You only have one angle. On TV, you got 50, you know. Korobov and Alim fought to a majority draw. Scores were 97-93 for Korobov, which is the way I had it, and 95-95 twice. I did not, listen, man, I thought this was pretty clear. I don't know, man. I thought this was pretty clear. I thought Korobov won pretty handily, but hey, what do I know? And then Dan Rafael, that's who it was. Dan Rafael, I remember reading this. Dan Rafael was the one that had Jarrett Hurd beating Julian Williams.
He's ridiculous. he is so ridiculous.
Yeah, he was the one that had him.
Then he had Wilder beating Fury.
Yeah, come on.
And then he had that Victor Ortiz beating. He had Berto beating Victor Ortiz. He's horrible, man.
Oh my
he's
God.
almost he's like Larry Hazard's a horrible scorer too. Did you see his scorecard?
Yeah.
He's just a bad scorer.
Dan is auditioning for a job at Fox.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right, let me see. Let me try something here. Because I texted Robert to call back, but I forgot. Robert turns his phone. I don't know what he does, but for whatever reason, he's not getting the message. I think Robert's mom took his phone. I hate technical problems, man. God, I hate them.
Welcome to the...
Roberts. Now I got to look through my thing and find his number. It is pretty cool how you can type in a number, though, and no sound comes up. So let me see if... could have just been a bad connection, too.
Yeah, it's probably a bad connection.
Yeah, you know how the bad connections go. So we're going to wait for him to answer.
Yeah, Marcos Villegas does the best job at score. He's a good scorer. I think his cards are really good.
Hello, dear.
Hey,
Robert's coming right back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still...
Oh.
All right, yeah. For whatever reason, I'm not sure what's going on there. I sent him a message to call back to Blog Talk. Happy Mother's Day to Robbie's mom. She seems like the sweetest lady on the face of the planet, too.
She's a nice lady.
Yeah, she really is. All right, listen, while we try to work out technical difficulties, let's give ourselves one here.
He's a fucking mental case is what he is.
Hi, Jason.
To co-rescue you, huh? You need me to rescue guys?
How you doing, Jason?
I always pull up like Mariano Rivera, man. I'm glad you guys bring me in as a closer, whenever you guys are having trouble.
That's cool, Jason.
Pick up the show when Eric's dropping the ball.
That's a good point, Jason.
Eric, I think you forgot your glasses. I think Eric forgot his glasses. That's what's going on. Beeb, did you see fucking Hurd's corner, man? Did you notice anything wrong with his corner last night?
Later, man. Thanks for calling.
They seemed to be a little bit in disarray. I thought they didn't seem like they were. They seemed like they were kind of out of their element there. They didn't expect the fight to go the way it did, and then they kind of were just. The corner was just in panic mode. I thought, no.
I noticed some things, like, I'm going to tell you, I don't think anybody did. The fucking guy that's a cut man was wearing sunglasses, like dark shades inside the fucking arena, like Louis Vuitton shades, which is baffles the hell out of me. I mean, I don't know what the hell he was thinking. The fucking guy, the third assist man, they're supposed to be putting water in ice. That guy was, like, pouring water all over the fucking cut. He was, like, more... I was, like, fucking getting distracted by his Rolex and his chain and his bracelet. Like, they looked like they were out to a fucking nightclub or something. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, they took that homecoming shit really seriously, man. Like, the guy was literally wearing dark Louis Vuitton shades in the corner. That's the guy that's a cut man. How are you wearing shades when you're supposed to work on the cut and you're putting Vaseline in the guy's eyes? I've never seen some shit like that.
Yeah,
it was like a real fucking clown show in this corner. I don't know. It was like maybe his homeboys in the corner or whatever, and the fucking coach was fucking decent. He looked like a rookie, like a local coach that's never been on world level. And this is probably as far as he's going to go with that kind of corner. He needs, like, real professionals. Maybe he needs to move to L.A. or somewhere like Vegas, somewhere. You need look at J-Rock's corner. He had a fucking professional-ass cut man in his coach. Dude, they were pulling some really veteran moves. Did you see J-Rock's shorts? His shorts were up to his fucking nipples. They were so high. Like, Hurd could barely punch his stomach, and every time he punched his stomach, the ref was like, oh, you're keeping it high, but his shorts were so high. His coach didn't say anything to the ref. Imagine if that was Robert Garcia's fighter. Robert Garcia would be screaming in the top of his lungs at the fucking ref to remind him that his fucking shorts are high. Hurd's fucking corner didn't say anything. They were all fucking rookies. I don't know what kind of advice they were giving him. It just seemed like not enough. And the J-Rock was just sharp. Like, he was sharp and he looked stronger. He said this was the first time he had a strength and conditioning coach, and that showed. And fucking Jarrett Hurd looked like he's never been in the weight room. He couldn't even get that guy off. He's like 190 pounds. How the fuck does that happen? You're supposed to be pushing these guys off you, turning around and throwing him back in the fucking ropes. Look at Maidana. Look at how Maidana was fighting against Mayweather. Remember those fights? This guy's way bigger than Maidana. How the fuck are you getting J-Rock fucking bully you around? He had no strength in his legs or anything. Maybe the weight cut was bad. I don't know what was going on.
Hey, did you find
out? It was just bad all around.
Hey, Jason, did you find out if Jarrett Hurd's dad works for a newspaper?
Yeah. Yeah, he used to work for Washington Post. That's what they said in one of the specials at Showtime. What? Your jokes are so gay, dude. Come on. I'm guessing. Did you see the article in Washington Post about him? Oh, pussy.
Champ.
Did you get the Skype to work yet? Is Skype working yet, champ? Is Skype working yet, champ? Is Skype working yet, champ?
No, it's not.
Thank you, champ.
Did you get your phone back from mom, Robbie? Come on, where are you been?
Yeah, I don't know what the hell happened.
Don't worry about it.
Nah, it's cool. Did you guys see what Magic Johnson tweeted about Sam Watson and PBC? He said, I'm proud of my buddy Sam Watson. The Suns helping Al Heyman. Did you see that?
Who said that?
Magic Johnson tweeted that, dude. Magic Johnson last night on his Twitter. Dude, that's the GOAT right there. He helped Lakers get LeBron. Don't be talking shit about Magic.
You got too much time on your hands, brother.
I know, right?
Tell him, Robbie.
I saw it.
Tell him, Robbie.
You don't
follow Magic Johnson. You don't follow Magic.
How much does your dad make an hour at the newspaper company? Does your dad get benefits with this package? Oh, how's the lunchroom look like?
We can't hear you, Beeb.
How's the lunchroom?
We can't hear you, Beeb.
How's the lunchroom look?
Champ.
Why didn't you guys go live last night? I mean, you guys went live after fucking Crawford and Amir, and you can't go live last night. What's up with that?
Was that the
Eric
Crawford?
Eric,
hold on. We went live after a pay-per-view fight. A pay-per-view fight, son, not a fight.
That fight was not pay-per-view. That fight was like worse than free TV, dude. That fight was worse than Matt Crowbar versus Aleem. What are you talking about? That fight was trash.
Son.
Come on. Who cares if it was pay-per-view? I mean, the fight we saw last night was pay-per-view worthy, right? That's a real pay-per-view worthy fight.
That was a good fight.
I wouldn't mind the fight. Yeah, but
nobody expected that.
I'm just saying that's what I'm like saying. You guys should have gone. You guys should have gone live after last night because there was so much news. Manny versus Thurman, fucking Plant versus Lee, all that news.
Don't you think Eric has a life, Jason?
Right. Just because Jason sits home and surfs.
Did you say you were at the movies last night? Is that what you said, Eric?
Everybody does.
Did you say you were at the movies?
Well, hey, when you're married, Jason, you have responsibility.
I know. Calm down.
Come on.
I didn't know he was at the movies, dude. Calm down. I don't fucking follow Eric on Twitter and shit. He's boring as hell. Jeez, I don't know.
Jason.
I used to unfollow him because he's a little bitch.
Jason.
Yes, baby.
Did you see Avengers Endgame yet?
No, I like to watch realistic movies. I don't really like to watch fucking kid movies, you know.
Oh my God.
I'm not into fiction. I'm into like realism. I'm not into fiction.
He watches porn. He watches realistic movies.
If I wanted to watch, if I wanted to watch fiction, I watch Loma and Crawford's careers like all over on YouTube. And if I wanted to watch fiction, I watch that.
No, that would take valuable time away from him checking out the Washington Post and Jarrett Hurd's dad. Okay.
You moron. That's what Showtime said about his dad.
Does your dad work for a newspaper company?
What do you guys think about
You think he can get me on there, champ?
You think I can help out?
Robbie, you gonna buy the paper
pass the papers out?
Can you put me on a paper route?
I'm gonna. I'm gonna.
You gonna buy the pay-per-view?
Absolutely. Because Thurman's gonna lose.
$85-$90, man.
Thurman and Pacquiao.
Remember, Lord, I was saying 2 days ago, I don't think that fight's not happening until October. I don't think it's happening. Like, holy moly. Right. And then Mike Covington comes back and fucking shits all over you bums. Jesus, God damn it. You guys should learn to listen to Mike by now. Come on now. He's the authority on everything PBC. You guys are questioning Mike.
Yeah. What do you want Mike's
even in fucking Mike's comments? Dan was like, that's just chatter. They're not fighting. Huh?
Who's not fighting?
What'd you say? Go ahead.
Who did you say is not fighting?
You said Manny and Thurman's not really happening 2 days ago. Remember, you were like, I don't think it's going to happen, and Manny said he's fighting in October. Remember?
Yeah, that was my opinion. I didn't think it was going to happen.
Opinion? You just made that up, dude. You just made that up.
I made up my opinion. Yeah, I made up my opinion. Yeah, that's why it's called an opinion, stupid. It's
an opinion.
You know what opinion means?
What do you guys? Who you guys picking for fucking Charlo or Harrison? Who do you guys have?
That's a tough one.
Charlo. I think Charlo, man. I thought Charlo won the first fight.
Yeah, I thought Harrison won the first.
Yeah, I thought Charlo won the first one, man. So I'm
gonna pick Harrison by. I'm gonna pick Harrison. I'm gonna pick Harrison by UD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I think this is good for PBC, man, because this is the kind of shit that UFC used to do. You know, like it doesn't matter who wins, as long as you're getting good fights and you can get rematches in like new cities. Hopefully, the rematches in Philly that'll open up like another new market for them. So that's good for PBC. Some people are like, "Oh, this is like disaster for PBC. Charlo and Hurd is off," but I mean, Williams is a new star now. I mean, you know, he's gonna have a fucking big fan base in Philly. Why not? I mean, Harrison versus Charlo's going to rematch, and fucking why not J-Rock versus other Charlo? That could be a rematch. He's got belts now, and they can unify. Why not?
No, because J-Rock's going to be forced to rematch Hurd because there's a rematch clause, and Hurd already said he's going to activate it.
Yeah, but the way Hurd looked last night, I don't think he's going to be able to do a lot more.
No.
About what, dude? There's always a rematch clause in fucking unification fights, isn't there, Robert?
He's taking a rematch clause, son.
But yeah, but the way he looked last night, do you think he's going to win though? He didn't do anything last night, man. I wasn't impressed at all. He just looked like
contract, son.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll go into it.
What do you guys think about J-Rock being on Victor Conte's snack juice program? Do you guys think that's normal, or do you think that's the reason he looks so strong and sharp?
Well, no,
Were you so close to it?
Jason, he freely admitted he hired a strength and conditioning coach, and he left home so he didn't have any distractions. He took this fight seriously. Unlike Jarrett Hurd.
But who did he hire, though? Who did he hire? You hired Héctor Camacho and Snack. I mean, does that give anybody any pause? I'm just asking. Does that give anybody any pause?
No, everybody's. I mean,
look,
everybody's.
as
Mikey Garcia wasn't Mikey Garcia.
As long as people.
Héctor Camacho is a master at beating drug tests. You know, he knows how to beat those drug tests. That's what he's a master at.
But he has he has a supplement company now, so he doesn't have to do that anymore. Make more money selling.
That's the cover, Beeb. That's the cover, Beeb. Come on, Beeb. That's how the mob. That's how the mob.
Listen,
he sounds like Georgie now, doesn't he?
Let me speak for 5 minutes.
Yeah, let him speak. Please, Eric.
This guy, Victor Conti, was busted by the FBI. You think he's stupid enough to do something that make himself get caught again? He's under the radar. Once you get caught,
people don't make mistakes 2 times. People don't do that again. Come on now.
They don't roll the dice. They don't gamble with the FBI. They don't gamble with the FBI 2 times. No. Once the FBI bags you, you don't try to do something again. Once you know that once the FBI is on.
John Gotti didn't gamble with the FBI like 5-6 times. Come on, dude.
John Gotti was a mobster.
Yeah.
Apples and oranges.
John Gotti beat his case, but guess what happened? He kept gambling, and what happened? He got busted. And he did life in jail. So what are you talking about? He gambled.
Some people think they're Teflon. You never know. I mean, I'm just saying.
Well,
I'm just saying, Beeb.
Victor Conti. I don't think Victor Conti.
I report you decide. Like Fox News. I report you decide.
I don't think Victor Conti's stupid enough to do the same thing he did before because he already went to jail for it. I don't think he wants to go to jail again when he can make easy money. You know how big business the supplement industry is. It's a multi-billion dollar business. Why would he risk it? Makes no sense.
I'm not saying he did anything. I'm just saying, doesn't it give you pause? It gives me pause every time I see that snack, and it just gives me pause. I don't know.
Gives me pause every time.
There's a reason he came into boxing, Beeb. You're the one who just went to me as the first caller. You moron! Shut up. Every time fucking snack, I see that shit. There's a reason he came into boxing because that's the only sport that would. I got you, dude. See, you got owned. Don't go back to that pussy ass shit. Come on, I just owned you.
Okay, see you later, Jason.
Shut up, Robbie. Let me finish my point. Isn't this the Beeb? That's the only reason he came to boxing because that's the only sport that would accept Conti. No other sport would allow Conti in there. Think about any of the sport. They would never allow Conti. Boxing is the only one because there's no regulation.
Well, he works with other athletes. He works with other athletes. He works with other athletes.
Who? No, he doesn't.
He works with baseball players.
No, he's all boxing now. Oh.
Okay.
Nah, not anymore, Beeb. Come on.
All right.
Later, man.
I'm just saying.
A lot of people.
Did you see Rosa Namahumas? Doug Rose? What you guys think about her?
She got
fucking banged out. She got her neck broken, dude.
That was crazy.
Dude, did you see she's the champ and she traveled to Brazil to fight? Did you see that she's a champ? She went to Brazil to fight him.
Girl.
Like, champs in boxing cry. She didn't cry or complain. Ariel Helwani was complaining about it. Ariel Helwani was like,
she broke a neck.
Did she?
Almost. Looked like it.
No, she didn't break her neck.
Her neck got bent. Her neck got bent when she got hit. It dropped on her head, so she got passed out. So it could have been.
Oh my goodness.
I'm just saying it looked like it, dude. Relax. Jesus Christ. I'm not saying she's like Christopher Reeve now. Jesus Christ, calm down.
He's like a TV doctor, boy. He's
spread rumors.
And I'm kind of sorry, dude. Also, are we going to forget that Harold Letterman used to be one of the worst judges of all time? Are we going to forget that or what?
We'll talk about him later.
I mean, I know he passed away. That's sad, but
the guy passed away. Show some respect.
Don't trample on his grave. All right, Jason's gone. You're Elena. All right, let's see here. Since we got Elena here,
can I continue talking about the Hurd-Williams fight, Eric?
No.
We moved on, son. This
topic's over.
I mean, this is like an X or something like that. We just moved on. You know what I'm saying? We had a breakup. We moved forward.
Elena's on camera right now. She's got something to do, Robbie. Please.
Okay.
All right, Robert. Well, first of all, Robert, we got We got Ringside Robert back on after technical difficulties. Tell your mother I apologize. I did not mean to hang up on her. I just couldn't hear. It was very garbled. So we were having issues at that point.
That's okay. Our stupid answering machine came on, and that didn't help.
Yeah, so tell her, like I said, man, tell her that, didn't mean to hang up on her, and wish her a happy Mother's Day from all of us, all right?
Happy Mother's Day, Mrs. Robbie.
I will.
Robbie's mom, happy Mother's Day.
Mrs. Herrick, happy Mother's Day.
That's right. That's right.
That's right.
She seems like the sweetest lady on the face of the planet. She really does.
Oh, yes, she is. Yes, she is.
Yeah, she's got to put up with Robbie, so she knows, she's definitely got patience, all right?
Hey, I'm the only one,
All right, so talk to me about Jarrett Hurd, Robert, real quick.
What I was going to say before we had technical issues, this is the best I've ever seen J-Rock look. And if he continues on the whatever program he used to get ready for this fight, I think the future's bright for him. And maybe Jarrett Hurd ought to take a page out of J-Rock's book and, go away from home and concentrate on his career. Because they made a big deal last night about him still living at home and him doing this and him doing that. And they made a big deal about him being at home. This is a classic case of a fighter was taking things for granted and was comfortable, and another guy who had a title shot and looked bad got a second shot and actually decided to turn his career around. I think the futures are drastically different for these two in the future unless Jarrett Hurd makes some drastic changes.
Robbie, you train for all your fights at home, and you do fine. Why?
I don't have two belts, Beeb. I don't have two belts, and
Yes, you do, Robbie.
And I'm not 28.
You're the champion.
Not 28 years old and a multi-millionaire, and
listen, you're the champ of Southern California, Robbie.
Northern California.
Oh, he's in Northern California. Well, he's northern.
Yeah.
He has two belts, Northern and Southern.
Yeah, he's like the state champ, son.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right, let's go on to the ESPN card. Before we go any further, we're going to go on to ESPN, and that brings us to our train wreck of the week. Elena has been waiting very patiently. Elena, let's have it.
Chugga, 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 choo, choo.
Oh, look at that. She changes it up every week.
There you go.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I just want you to know.
Jesus. All right. Our train wreck of the week is Isaac Dogbay's dad. All right. So, listen, Emmanuel Navarrete and Isaac Dogbay rematched after Dogbay was annihilated in that first fight for the WBO Junior Featherweight title. Not much has changed. Emmanuel Navarrete stopped Isaac Dogbay in the 12th round to retain his Junior Featherweight championship. He hurt Dogbay in the second round and just pretty much just wore on him, man. He really did. Dogbay, I got to be honest, man, he didn't, I don't know, man. He just didn't seem, listen, man, Navarrete's just a better fighter. And Dogbay had a good run and everything like that, man. Now he's talking about moving up from junior featherweight to featherweight. Listen, Dogbay's already a tiny guy, so him moving up in weight, that's a tough one for me to swallow. I don't know, man. But, Robert, tell me about Dogbay's dad.
Oh, well, I always pick on, fighters and trainers and stuff like that when things go haywire, or if I think somebody needs to make a change, like Jarrett Hurd, for example. This was a disgrace because in the ESPN card, you saw the contrast in how trainers are supposed to act. In this case, Paul Dogbay, that's his name. That is Isaac Dogbay's dad. From the 8th round on, he kept saying, "I'm going to stop the fight. I'm going to stop the fight. You need, you're getting hurt. You're not doing what you're supposed to." But what did he do? he would work on his cuts or whatever and tell him what he's supposed to do. But meanwhile, he kept saying, "I'm going to stop the fight." And then he kept sending his son out to the ring. And it finally took Navarrete to literally destroy him in the 12th round before somebody in that corner finally threw in the damn towel. Yeah, this is why it's not a good idea to have your father as your trainer if he doesn't know anything about boxing. Because that fight, in all honesty, should have been stopped maybe in the 5th or 6th round. He took way too much punishment, and I think this is going to hurt his career in the future. If he moves up to 126, good luck, because there's people like Leo Santa Cruz up there. There's other devastating fighters. I think this might have cut his career short by several years last night by not having an experienced trainer in the corner to take responsibility to save his fighter. Now, in the second half of the card, you'll see the difference. But this is why Paul Dogbe should be train wreck of the week. Absolutely disgusting performance. Because he kept saying it throughout the fight, "I'm going to stop the fight, I'm going to stop the fight," and then he'd send his son out there to continue getting the crap beat out of him, and he couldn't defend himself. Navarrete has an 8-inch reach advantage, and he's 5 inches taller. You can't do anything about size or reach if you don't know what the hell you're supposed to do to defend yourself. And he basically had an amateur corner last night, and they didn't handle things well at all. It was disgusting.
There you go. Robert bringing the heat, baby.
So, Robbie.
Now, Beeb,
Robbie, does Dogbe have to find something else to do, or is he okay?
The fighter is going to be okay as long as he gets somebody in the corner that knows what the hell they're doing.
So
his dad needs to find something else to do.
Okay, good.
So he retired his dad, not the fighter.
Okay.
Someone
has to go. Like we can't have a show with someone not having to go.
Well,
Robert, what do you think?
Steve,
what do you think of
go.
Dogbe going up a division, going up to featherweight instead of junior featherweight? Do you think that helps him? He said he complained about making the weight.
Well, it might help him to be stronger, but the problem I see, Eric, is he's a small guy to begin with.
Yeah.
And, gaining 4 pounds I don't think is going to make much difference. It might psychologically, but I swear to God, I think several years were taken off of his career last night because of the incompetence in the corner. I mean, when we talk about the second fight, you'll see what I'm talking about. But, in order for him to continue his boxing career, he's going to have to get an experienced trainer in his corner. Otherwise, the same crap may happen again, and the guys are more dangerous at 126, than they are at 122. I mean, if Navarrete is any indication, he's going to be devastating at 122. I'd love to see him against like Danny Roman or something, because let's face it, this guy came out of nowhere and basically took a title and basically proved to everybody last night that he deserves to keep it.
There you go. Let's talk about Miguel Berchelt versus Francisco Vargas. This is a rematch, 12 rounds for Berchelt's WBC Junior Lightweight Championship. Now, I wasn't a big fan of this fight to begin with, but the second fight or the rematch or whatever, Miguel Berchelt stopped Francisco Vargas in the 6th round to retain his WBC Junior Lightweight title. It was a one-sided fight, but there was good action from both fighters. Robbie, break this down for me.
Well, with Francisco Vargas and Miguel Berchelt, you know what you're going to get. Their first fight was a classic, and their second fight was good, but Joel Diaz is in the corner of Francisco Vargas, and he saw that, okay, this is not going to be good. And he stopped the fight after the 6th round. He said, you're not going to take any more of this because there's going to be, you can't do anything about this. This guy's just too good. And, the result was going to be much more devastating this time around than it was 2 years ago. Joel Diaz did the right thing. Paul Dogbe did the wrong thing. And I don't know where Bandito goes from here, Bergel, he said, look, Vargas gave me a shot at the title. That's how I won it. So, I wanted to give him a chance to get it back. But the future's bright for Miguel Purchell. Vargas, I don't know.
All right. Let's see here. So where do you think Berchelt goes after this? Because it doesn't look like, after that fight, it sounds like, that Francisco Vargas is, those are tough fights for him to be in, and I don't ever like rematches anyway. So, there's very few fights that I want to see again. But where does Berchelt go after this?
Miguel said he said that he wants the winner of the Jermell Herring fight in a couple of weeks. Because he's fighting the WBC champion.
Yeah,
and
I think it was a Japanese guy.
Miguel said he wants the winner of that fight.
All right, who is Herring fighting? It's I thought it was the Japanese guy, but I'm not sure.
It is, and I can't pronounce his name. The fight's on May 25th.
All right, there you go. Yeah, I'm surprised Jermell. They did a good job. They whoever's the manager over there, I think of Herring, and I think it's Heyman. I think he's one of Heyman's guys. Doing a good job for him. Got it right in there, man. So that's good stuff for Jermell Herring.
Yep.
Ohio son. All right, let's talk about the upcoming fights because there's a lot, and they are really, really good. So today, Robert, is the 12th.
Yes, they are.
All right, so.
Right.
May 15th. This is interesting. Sydney, Australia. Tim Tszyu. Wednesday.
Please,
May 15th. That's why I got you here, man. Tim Tszyu, Kostya Tszyu's son, versus Joel Camilleri, 10 rounds, junior middleweights. And I believe this is on pay-per-view in Australia. I kept seeing this on Twitter, and I think it's like $49.95 or something like that in Australia. Beeb, did you see this? That it was going to be pay-per-view in Australia?
I did not.
All right, so if you're in Sydney, you can check that fight out. He's apparently he's real popular in Sydney, so there it is. May 16th, so that would be a Thursday on ringtv.com.
That's correct.
From Indio, California, Robbie's old stomping grounds. Romero Dano versus Juan Antonio Rodriguez, 10 rounds lightweights, and Manny Robles III versus Rigoberto Hermosillo, 10 rounds featherweights. Try saying that name 10 times real fast.
Please, Eric.
How dare you. May 17th. Robert, is this Saturday?
Friday.
Friday, May 17th. From Belfast, Northern Ireland on ESPN+. Your boy Ryan Burnett versus Gilbert Gomera, 12 rounds junior featherweights, and Marco McCullough versus Declan Garrity, 12 rounds junior lightweights. Also on Friday. Is it May 17th, Friday? Mashantucket, Connecticut. UFC Fight Pass. Mikewan Williams versus Ricky Edwards, 10 rounds junior welterweights. Irvin Gonzalez versus Elijah Pierce, 8 rounds featherweights. Marco Hook on that card as a heavyweight. How about that? May 18th, Saturday, from Stevenage, England. ESPN+. Billy Joe Saunders versus Shafat Usifi, 12 rounds for the vacant WBO interim super middleweight title. What an interim? Why is there an interim? I don't understand.
Sorry,
I don't know.
I don't understand. I don't get it. Joe Joyce, also on the card, versus Alexander Ustinov. 10 or 12 rounds are heavyweights. And Robert's main man, Boy Jones Jr. versus the dreaded TBA. May 18th, Saturday, from New York on Showtime. Deontay Wilder versus Dominic Breazeale. 12 rounds for Wilder's WBC heavyweight title. On the undercard, Gary Russell Jr. versus Kiko Martinez. 12 rounds for Russell's WBC featherweight title. Juan Heraldez versus Argenis Mendez. 10 rounds junior welterweights. Roberto Alfonso versus Iago Kiladze. 10 rounds heavyweights. And Gary Russell's brother is fighting Sal Eduardo Hernandez, 8 rounds bantamweights. Gary Russell's other brother, Gary Russell, is fighting Marcos Mojica, 8 rounds junior welterweights. All right, there's Gary Antonio Russell, Gary Antoine Russell. How confusing is that, man? But Gary Russell's dad is the nicest guy on the planet.
Yeah.
Friend of the show, by the way.
Yep.
All right. Saturday, May 18th from Glasgow, Scotland on DAZN. The World Boxing Super Series. Ivan Barancek versus Josh Taylor. 12 rounds for Barancek's IBF junior welterweight title. Emmanuel Rodriguez versus Naoya Inoue. 12 rounds for Rodriguez's IBF bantamweight title. I cannot wait for that fight. I've been waiting for a long time, man. That is going to be an awesome. That might be. That's got fight of the year written all over it, son.
It could, yeah.
May 18th from Hockenson, Delaware. Not going to be televised, but the name caught my eye. Héctor Camacho Jr. He's still around. Versus Victor Abreu, 8 rounds middleweights. I wonder if that's Héctor Camacho's son. Or Héctor Camacho Jr.'s son. You know what I mean? I guess he would be Héctor Camacho.
Well, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how it works.
Yeah.
And I'm looking. I think that is it. It is. That is it. All right, let's talk about the big fights, man. Let's talk about Deontay Wilder and Dominic Breazeale. I don't, listen, man. I like Deontay Wilder in this fight, obviously. I don't see a way that Breazeale wins this fight. I don't. And I think that Breazeale can outbox him. I think that, Burgess Meredith in the chat, Roy Jones is not scheduled to fight. Boy Jones. The guy's name is Boy Jones. He's from England. Boy Jones Jr., not Roy Jones Jr. Anywho, Deontay Wilder is going to beat Dominic Breazeale by knockout. I think he catches him, and I think that Breazeale can. The thing is, Breazeale can outbox him for a large portion of this fight. And Breazeale can take a shot. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know, how much he's got. Beeb, help me out here, man. Can Breazeale win this fight?
I can't see it, man. I really can't see it. I think it's tough. I think it's tough. I mean, he gets hit a lot. He's not a great defensive fighter. He's pretty decent offensively. But if you watch when he punches, I know a lot, we say this a lot about fighters, but when he punches and he brings his hands back, he brings them back so low, and he reaches in with his jab. He's got a lot of weaknesses. He has decent power, but I have a hard time seeing him not make that one mistake in this fight and Deontay Wilder not jumping on it and capitalizing. You watch when he throws his jab, when he brings it back. You saw in the Anthony Joshua fight, after he came over the top with a beautiful overhand right that really got Breazeale in trouble and knocked him down. That's because he's got a lazy jab. He doesn't, he just doesn't snap it all the time. Sometimes he pushes with it and leaves it out there, and he brings it back so slow, and that's when he gets countered over the top with the right hand. And I could see Deontay Wilder landing a monster of a right hand over that lazy jab. And I'm just being honest. I just don't. That's just the way I see it.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I don't see a way. I don't see a way around this, man. Because listen, Tyson Fury, better boxer. Louis Ortiz, better boxer than Breazeale. Tyson Fury, better boxer than Breazeale. What is Breazeale going to do differently? You know what I mean? I mean, what can he possibly do? Robert, tell me, what's going to happen?
Well. One of my key questions about this fight, does Deontay Wilder feel the pressure to put Dominic Breazeale away earlier than what Joshua did? Remember, Joshua knocked out Breazeale in 7 rounds. So is Wilder going to come in with the mindset, I've got to get rid of him before 7, because that way I can send Joshua a message? I wonder. The only chance I think Brazil would have is if Wilder comes in with that mindset and blows himself out way too early, and Brazil is able to take his shots, and Brazil would come back later and make it competitive. But I personally think Wilder is going to try to dispose of him quicker than Joshua did, so he can send Joshua a message. I see this fight ending early.
That's a real good point, though, and that's one I really didn't even think of. Do you think Wilder has a lot, puts a pressure on himself to end this earlier than the Joshua fight? Because clearly, but honestly, man, it doesn't mean anything if he does, because it was a younger Joshua who faced him, so different times in their careers, so it doesn't really mean anything if he does. But
but I'm thinking psychologically, Eric. If he gets rid of Brazil, say in 4 or 5 rounds, he could when he goes to promote himself with his next fight, whether it's with Joshua, Fury, or whoever, he can publicly, add to his repertoire. Look, I got rid of Dominic Brazil before Joshua did. That kind of thing,
Right. USC Trojan Zone, thank you so much, man. We appreciate it. Thank you very much, sir. What about, and let me just play devil's advocate here. What about Brazil? Everybody's saying that, hey, Wilder's got something to prove. Hey, what about Brazil? He was, assaulted out in the hotel in front of his family by Deontay Wilder and his entourage and everything like that. Do you think? That's got to play into something. Listen, man, I've got to imagine he's pretty irritated too.
Oh, because I watched the All Access on Friday, and he clearly stated this is personal. I'm going out on my shield, and I'm gonna give him the beating he's never had before. I don't think he's capable of it, but that's what he said.
Yeah, you're right. And I don't know that he's capable of it either. Wilder's a big guy. But listen, hey, Wilder can definitely be hit. And Dominic Brazil, what I always say, man, if you're over 200 pounds, anybody over 200 pounds can hurt you. If they know how to throw a punch, they
that's
can hurt
right.
You. And Brazil definitely knows how to throw a punch.
And let's face it. And let's face it, Eric. If Brazil wins, how fast would Joshua jump on that fight?
That fight would be made
just to get that title.
That fight would be made tomorrow. But
yeah,
I don't know that it would, honestly, because I think that. I think there's probably going to be a rematch
clause.
Wilder will
have a rematch clause.
Yeah, there'll definitely be a rematch clause in there. But, but I tell you, that would be the worst possible thing for Wilder if he gets clipped with a shot, because you think I think that he thinks he's on a 50-50 slide with AJ right now. Now, whether he is or not, I don't know. But I guarantee you, if either man takes a loss, they're not on 50-50 terms anymore. So the longer this plays out, the longer this whole thing plays out with these two, with them not fighting each other and fighting other people, look, man, that's the longer this plays out, the more money there is to lose. So that's why I don't understand.
And let's face it, let's face it, Eric. I give Andy Ruiz a better shot to possibly pull an upset than I do Dominic Brazil.
Oh, how dare you! How dare you! Andy Ruiz? You think so?
Well, because look, he never looks great in there, but all he does is win. And the only time he lost was a very close decision to Joseph Parker in New Zealand.
Yeah.
So, he must have some kind of ability.
And you know what? A lot of people thought he won that fight. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
So, Joshua better not take Ruiz lightly either.
Yeah.
This whole thing is dangerous. With these 3 guys, and I'm including Fury in there, with these 3 guys fighting other people, anything can happen in this division.
Good point, Robbie.
Coach C said AJ is the more vulnerable of the two. I guess if you factor in who they're fighting, yeah, I think he is, because he's definitely fighting top competition. So
Coach C knows, man. He would know.
Coach C in fantasy land.
Yeah, no.
Coach C's on point, man. I'm just glad he's been laying off you for a little bit, man.
Yeah, me too.
Well, look at this realistically, guys. Can you imagine if Andy Ruiz fought Dominic Breazeale? I think Ruiz is a better fighter than Breazeale, so I view Andy Ruiz as possibly more of a threat to Joshua than I would Dominic Breazeale to Wilder. But anything's possible in this division.
Right. All right, let's move ahead here to the DAZN card on Saturday, which is the one I'm most looking forward to. Ivan Baranchyk versus Josh Taylor, 12 rounds for Barancyk's IBF Junior Welterweight title, the WBSS semifinals. And I tell you what, man, I like Josh Taylor in this. I've said it from the get-go, man. It's going to be him. And he's definitely, I mean, Josh Taylor is going to be the finals. Yeah, with Prograis. And I think that, like I said, man, I got to go with Taylor until I see something different, man. But every fight, again, man, you see these guys are fighting top-notch competition, man. So we'll figure it out, man. But I think Josh Taylor wins this fight. I think he wins it pretty handily. I think he pitches a shutout. Beeb, how do you see this fight going down?
Yeah, I got Josh Taylor, too. I think it's a no-brainer, right?
No-brainer, right?
Yeah. Too big, too strong. He's got, I mean, advantages in every category. I can't find a bright spot. I can't find a bright spot.
Well, and
he's so solid, man.
And not only that, guys. Not only that, Baranchyk tried to get the hell out of this tournament. So how focused is he on this fight, considering they said, no, you got an ironclad contract, you're going to fight? I think Joshua Taylor is going to have it easy, because I don't think you're going to have a focused Isaac Baranchyk in there.
Oh, jinx him, Robbie.
Robbie, bringing the hammer today, man. Robbie has been on point today, son.
That's right.
Start jinxing people, Robbie.
Yeah, I mean, Robbie's on point today, man. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, he was getting ready to, he just pulled out. He pulled out because he didn't want to fight, or he was getting jerked around or whatever. Now he's back
That's
in.
right.
I mean, like, how much of your focus is really on this?
Don't jinx him, Robbie.
All right, let's talk about the fight.
Taylor's going to have it easy, man.
Yeah, let's talk about the fight of the week here, man. The monster, Naoya Inoue. 12 rounds for Emmanuel Rodriguez's IBF Bantamweight title. World Boxing Super Series semifinal. Oh, man, is this a good fight. Man, Rodriguez is such a good fighter, too. He can box, he can punch. He's a great, great little fighter, man. Beeb, how do you see it going down?
I don't know. It's a tough one. I think I'd slightly favor Rodriguez in this one.
I gotta be honest, man. I do too, and I always feel like an Inoue hater. I do. I always feel like an Inoue hater, because I always like, because like I said, I wanted to see him go against Payano. To me, that was going to be the fight that told the story. If he can get past Payano, then we got the real deal here. He KO'd him in like 30 seconds, son. You could have made a commercial out of that fight. I mean, that was like just destruction, you know what I mean? And this time with Emmanuel Rodriguez, man, it's like, oh, man, I don't know, man. But
it's a tough fight. I don't know, man. It's tough.
Yeah.
I'll have to think about it.
I think he is the real deal, though. I do think that Inoue is the real deal, but, man, it's not like Emmanuel Rodriguez sucks. This guy is an awesome fighter. I mean, he's awesome, man. He's just a solid fighter. Robert, what say you?
Well, I love both of these guys, and this is where I miss the AWE coverage, because Rodriguez appeared on several of those cards, and that's how I got familiar with him. This is going to be one hell of a fight, but like I said last week, as talented as he is, I don't know if he's got enough to get past the monster or not, man. I'm gonna, as much as I hate to do this, I love Rodriguez, but I'm gonna have to go with a monster in this one. I just don't see it turning out any other way.
Can Inoue box with Rodriguez? I think that's what I'm looking at too. Is that like, just like in our first one with Josh Taylor and Baranchek, I think that Josh Taylor is going to outbox. I think he's going to throw a perfect game against Baranchek. But that being said, Emmanuel Rodriguez, he can definitely box too. So I don't know if Inoue can box. I don't know if he's got that skill in the sense that at that high of a level. I know he's got the power. We know he's got.
Well, we're gonna find out on Saturday what he has.
Right, with quality guys. You know what I mean? Dale from Chi-Town, thank you so much, my brother. Thank you very much. We're gonna find out, man. And I can't wait. And Robert, this fight won't be on AWE. This is on DAZN. Robert,
no, I know.
When are you getting DAZN, son?
I
Man,
know.
come on, man. Get with the program.
Robbie,
You're
try it,
missing it,
please.
baby. You're missing it. What did Dundee say in the corner, Beeb?
Blowing it, son. You're blowing it, son.
Blowing it, son. You gotta get
Yeah, I know.
I know.
You want to hear what I tell Eric about Coach C? Want to hear this one?
What's this?
Watch this one.
You think I beat him the last time? Do you? You got the decision. Man, I won, but I didn't beat him.
Oh my!
What are you afraid of, Tony?
What's wrong with this guy?
Honest?
We're gonna
Yeah,
get off of
honest.
YouTube, man. Turn that off, man. What's wrong with you?
Say it off YouTube.
So long for us, baby.
Man, hit that fucking like button.
That man, I never saw no man get beat before. The man kept coming after you.
Coach C kept
You
coming
need
after
that
you.
kind of man.
All right, man.
Oh my goodness.
I know what you're feeling. Let it go.
Let it go.
That's what
Coach
you
C.
tell Coach C. That's what you tell Coach C.
You gotta let it go.
After he goes in and gets stripped.
Oh,
in the
my.
week. Let it go.
Gotta let it go, Coach C. He's
Oh.
too strong. He's too strong for you.
Oh my goodness. What's the matter with this guy?
And correct me if I'm wrong, Eric. The winner of this fight fights Nonito Donaire, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Donaire's the guy, man.
Yeah.
How about that for a comeback? How about that for a turnaround, man? He's in the finals.
Yeah.
How about that for a turnaround? Joe Lopez.
Yeah,
do we have
that's the
T-shirts
comeback
available?
of comeback.
Joe
Please.
Lopez just said we ask if we have shirts available. Yes, we do. If you go down in the description, there's a link for MegaFit, and there's a link for the shirts, and we'll get a URL so it's a lot easier for you guys. But yeah, man, definitely get a shirt from us, man. I like them; they're nice, comfy.
And click, and you get a discount because there's always a discount code on the top when you click the link. Make sure you click the link on the top of the page, and they'll give you a discount code to type in, and you'll get like $3 off the shirt.
Yeah,
So
they're cool shirts too. I like them.
yeah.
They are cool shirts. Beeb, stand up, show them.
One more time. Right here. There you go, baby.
Look
Look at this.
Ringside Reporter. Look at that.
You can get the you won't get the upper body development, but you can still get the shirt.
Thank God for that. You gotta
Look at
order
that.
MegaFit meals for that. You gotta order
Yeah.
MegaFit meals for that.
I know, Lois. It's okay. Tells me I get a little too cocky sometimes. You're right, Lois.
So you finally brought Lois out of the closet and blew her back up?
Enough. Don't disrespect her. It's Mother's Day. You can't
I didn't know if Lois
disrespect.
celebrate Mother's Day.
You can't disrespect Lois on Mother's Day.
Hey,
Robbie, don't
we
even
this
try
way.
it.
We don't know about Lois.
Don't try to dogpile, Robbie, please.
Like I said, we know Lisa's real. We don't know about Lois.
Robbie, well, you're not supposed to mention stuff like that on the air, please.
All right. Notorious VC asked, do you guys think Taylor can beat Prograis? I absolutely think he can, and I absolutely think he will. Yeah, I do. I think that Prograis, because Taylor is such a good boxer, I think that Prograis is tailor-made for that guy. I think that Prograis wings his shots a little bit too much. He leaves himself a little bit open more than he should, and I think Taylor will take full advantage of it, man. So that's just my opinion, though. All right. Let's go to the phones.
From this day, you'll be my new fool.
Georgie.
Hey, what's happening, people?
Not much, Georgie.
Wacky lacking, Robbie on fire tonight. Killing it, Robbie. You're killing it, brother.
He's out of control.
Listen, we got to talk about these mafias, Robbie, so I got a question for you. See if you know.
Okay.
Please, Robbie.
You to let me know, because I want to know who the fuck is Brett Yorkmark.
Who?
That ring a bell. Brett
Yes.
Yorkmark.
He's the guy.
Yormark.
He's the guy from the Barclays. He's I think he runs the Barclays, doesn't he, Georgie?
Yeah, he runs the Barclays. Yeah, that's who that is.
Where else this guy works at?
I don't know.
That's the only place I know him.
And he on the WBC fucking canceling body.
What about the WBC? Don't be bad-mouthing the WBC.
Hey, I'm asking you, why you defending me right out of the bat? I'm asking questions. I'm accusing nobody of anything. I'm asking he worked there too.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Why are he style with me say, I hate him? Anybody knows?
I don't know. I don't know, Georgie.
Ladies and gentlemen.
What's the point of your call?
Georgie.
I don't understand the question.
Georgie.
Listen, man, this is a shit show. A fucking shit show inside a dumpster fire. How the fuck you gonna have these dudes working in the fucking Barclays, working for Al Heyman, working for the WBC, and cherry picking the fuck out of the fucking thing? Yo, where the fuck is the FBI when you need these motherfuckers? The fuck they gonna raid that shit? Huh? We strong man. When that swamp gonna get fucking drained? What's up with those apples? Let me guess, more crickets? What the fuck? Everybody out there, smash that fucking like button. Smash that shit. Fucking going to high energy. Yo, listen, Hurd, he catch a L. He caught the L, but my man gonna come back. We can be dropping the man, B. He took a L. He took J-Rock lightly, but I think in the rematch with it was a mental thing. I don't think he prepared properly. As a matter of fact, like if you see J-Rock, you didn't see no fat on dude. Oh, limb muscles. I don't know. Jason could be right about that snack program.
No, he hired a conditioner.
Like,
I
don't know.
Coach. I mean, I would expect him to look like that if he hired a conditioning coach.
He wasn't even breaking a sweat. He looked Manny Pacquiao don't break a sweat, sort of dude. Yo, suspect. He looks suspect. I gotta put it out there. Let's see, cause how long they got before they start pulling out these fucking testing? They got tested.
What was that?
They got tested for the fight.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they got testing for it.
I'm sure they did, Georgie.
Yeah.
And how long did the results come back? How long before they come back?
I don't.
Yeah, but look,
we don't work for the commission. I don't know.
Here's the deal, though.
But usually takes weeks and weeks.
I mean, if you look at him, he looks the same as he did back for the Charlo fight. It's not like he was had fat on him and then he comes in like he was a different guy. You know what I mean? Like he looked completely different. He didn't. He looked the same.
I don't know, B. I mean, Eric, I don't know. He looked different to me. But like always, you guys don't want to see nothing wrong with the sport. Everything is fucking pitches. These mafia writing history left and right. You guys don't see nobody using drugs, nobody doing no crime, nobody. What the fuck? Oh, man, try to defend you guys from these fucking mafias. Give me a break, bro. You're getting old. You guys going against your own interests. The fuck? Smash that fucking like button!
Oh, my God.
Hey, Joe. Barcel's gonna make it to the 7. He's gonna make it to the 7. Any bets? What's going on?
Who's going to make it to the 7th? Brazil?
Brazil? Yeah.
Oh, man, I don't know. My gut tells me that fight's going to end within 5 rounds. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But
it's like he looks so basic, huh? Brazil look like an amateur.
Yeah,
Dougie's so size, man. All size. And he got hard. I'm not going to say he's hard away from him.
But it's not like...
he got hard.
But it's not like Wilder's like this classic
no
boxer.
skills, no special effects, no nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, Dougie's dull as fuck. We're going to get his ass whipped. Yeah. Anyways, I got to go. Everybody support the channel. Don't forget to watch the Dragons and the Walkers. We only got 2 episodes left. And I'm out.
The Walkers are gone. The Walkers are gone.
The Walkers.
You're out of here.
That's right. All right. 312, I believe that's Chicago. Is this the Fight Doctor, maybe? I don't know. Let's play his intro. If not, maybe it's Dale. I don't know.
What's your name, man?
My name is the Doctor. I say that my name is the Doctor.
I'm Rick James, bitch.
There you go. Fight Doctor, is this you?
In the house on Rick James status. Fight Doctor's in the house on Rick James status as always. What's going on, gentlemen?
How are you?
I'm doing well. Real quick, just wanted to talk about the whole situation with Jarrett Hurd. I think the weight bully has finally hit the wall. And I think it's going to be interesting to see. Listen, if I were him, I would not elect to take the immediate rematch. I think maybe it's time for him to start thinking about, employing some defense, as part of his, as part of his strategy, because the whole, listen, in J-Rock Williams, and listen, I think there's something to be said about Philadelphia middleweights, but J-Rock Williams actually looked good the other night. I mean, he kind of sort of reminded me a little bit of Bernard Hopkins. Okay, I'm not saying that he's on Hopkins' level, but, just some of the things that he was doing in there, the short punches, the hard counters, some of the things that he was doing sort of reminded me of Bernard Hopkins. And, listen, with Hurd, he's just not going to be able to just come forward and wear this guy down by taking his punches. That's just not going to happen. That's essentially what he did in the Law fight. He just came forward, dared Law to hit him, and after Law got through hitting him, and he was walking through Law's punches, he just basically beat Law down. And with this guy in Williams, he's got a guy who's as big and as strong as he is, apparently doesn't have a problem making a weight, and can fight. Knows how to box, knows how to counter. So if I were Hurd, I probably wouldn't be, I wouldn't be interested in taking an immediate rematch. I think maybe he might need to take a couple of easy fights, maybe some guys who can box, who, maybe some smaller 54-pounders. I think it's time that he learns the defensive side of boxing because, listen, I think 160, I think that the better 160s probably knocked him out. The better 160-pounders. They all knocked him out. Charlo knocks him out. Alvarez knocks him out. Golovkin knocks him out. Jacobs knocks him out. All those guys knocked him out because he has shit for defense. Okay, and he's made his bread and butter has been, bullying around these smaller 54-pounders. So honestly, I don't think we're going to see too much more about her. I think this is pretty much it for him. He'll lose the rematch if he elects to take the immediate rematch. He'll lose that, move to 160, probably beat a couple of C-level fighters, and then get knocked out by one of the better 160-pound fighters. So I don't know. What do you guys thought?
Wow,
Actually, I like the way you're thinking, fight. I like the way you're thinking, fight doctor, because let's be realistic. Charlo and Harrison are going to fight in June. If I'm Julian J. Rock Williams, I take the winner of that fight because you could collect a third belt. But the problem is, if Hurd activates the immediate rematch, he's going to be stuck and won't be able to take the winner of that fight. But I like the way you're thinking.
Well, so I'll tell you what. Listen, let's say Charlo wins that fight. Okay? Charlo wins that fight, then maybe there's a rubber match. Okay? Julian Williams takes the Hurd rematch, which I think is probably financially his best option. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's more money in a Charlo rematch should Charlo win. But, I mean, I think that fight is probably 50-50. But I think financially speaking, Hurd is probably the best option for Williams. And then since Williams won the fight, he's in the driver's seat. And I think no matter what, even if Williams has to do the immediate rematch with Hurd, the winner of Charlo Harrison will be there. I mean, where are they going to go? Because at this moment, I think that J. Rock Williams is the man at 154 pounds. I mean, he's got, 3 belts?
Well, he's got 2, and if he beat Charlo or Harrison, he'd have 3.
Well, he's got the IBO,
okay,
too.
So he's got the IBO.
He's got the IBO. He's got 3.
Yeah.
All right, so he's got 2.5 belts. Okay, he's got 2.5 belts. He's the number 1 guy in the division. Okay, and if he beats Hurd in an immediate rematch, that only solidifies his position. Like, okay, now I'm the man. So now you got to come talk to me. So, yeah, I think I like the immediate rematch option for Williams because that's still a big fight. Okay? That's still a big fight. And listen, they can sell it as, Hurd didn't take him seriously. Hurd was fighting in his hometown and he was training half-assed. I'm sure they can drag up all kinds of excuses.
Yep.
It's all bullshit, okay, because at the end of the day, Hurd got his ass drove. And he's going to get his ass drove worse in the rematch, I think. But listen, I think Williams is in a good position. Okay, I think he's in a damn good position. And whether it's the winner of Charlo Harrison or the immediate rematch with Hurd, I like either of those options for him. But honestly, I think I like the Hurd rematch better. Because at the end of the day, you're going to win that fight. And Charlo and Harrison, they're not going anywhere.
Right. And as far as the WBO, Jaime Munguia has that, and he could grow out of that division, so that title could become vacant.
He's going to vacate that soon.
I think Munguia has made some, but hasn't Munguia made some noise about moving to 160?
Yeah, he's going to vacate.
He's going to be forced to anyway.
He's going to vacate soon.
Yeah.
Because I think he's been calling out Golovkin. I think he's called out Golovkin. Maybe he called out Alvarez. I don't recall, but I do remember him making some mind. And plus, he's promoted by Tom Rank, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct.
Who? Munguia?
Maybe.
But Munguia's Golden Boy.
Munguia, yeah.
Golden Boy.
He's Golden Boy.
He's Golden Boy. You're right. Sorry. I know it was one of them.
So then I think the politics of boxing prevents him from fighting anyone on the PBC side,
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah. So I think we can pretty much discount Munguia fighting any of the PBC guys.
Well, that's why I say that title could become vacant, and then one of the PBC guys could go after that.
Right.
Well, yeah. So, and I think eventually, Williams might find himself fighting for that title. But listen, I think Williams is in a good position, and I'm looking forward to watching his next fight. For damn sure.
Yeah, it's the best I've ever seen Julian J. Rock Williams look. I mean, I've seen a lot of his fights, and last night he looked the best I've ever seen him. So
they look great.
Yeah. A
Yeah,
lot of
no,
people wrote
no
him off
question,
after that
no
Charlo
question.
loss, too.
Like I said, shades of Bernard. I'm sorry, what was that? I didn't catch that.
I said a lot of people wrote him off after that Charlo loss, too, after that knockout, that 5th round.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Eric, I have a feeling if they rematched, I don't think it'd be a knockout anymore. I think Julian has improved himself.
Well, I think he's improved, but I'm not 100% sure that fight goes any other way, honestly. I mean, you know, again, you styles make fights. That's why I say combat math never works.
Got a strength and conditioning coach now, though. Never had that strength and conditioning coach before. Got a personal chef.
No, that's true.
Chin, though.
Last night was the first time he ever used his conditioning coach.
Yeah.
So it might make a complete difference, but who knows?
Got caught.
You know what, I think,
You know, people get caught.
Yeah, people get caught, and then on top of that, I think right now you kind of have to question, like, what is the mental state of Charlo? Now that he's taking that L, you know, is he still the same guy?
I mean, look at a guy like.
Well, we're going to find out on June 23rd.
Look at a guy like Tony Harrison who gets knocked out by Willie Nelson, and then gets knocked out by Jarrett Hurd, I believe, as well, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
And then he comes back and beats Charlo. So what's that say?
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys caught the press conference between Charlo and Harrison the other day.
I did.
Yeah. That was something else, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm thinking that's round 1 for Harrison, according to my calculations, because Harrison was going in on Charlo, and I have to be honest, I didn't find much to disagree with there. Okay, not a whole lot to disagree with.
No, I agree. It was a thrashing.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Charlo and the 54 Charlo, he has the bigger mouth than the 60 Charlo. You know, 60 Charlo is almost reasonable, but the 54 Charlo talks a whole lot of shit. And listen, I think the question needs to be asked is, you know, Mr. Lions Only, what have you done in the whole of your career outside of lose to Tony Harrison and talk a bunch of shit? I mean, like, what have you really done?
You got a good point there.
You know, I mean, okay, I guess now at this point you can say you knocked out the best light middleweight in the division. Okay, so I guess that now fell under your cap. But he wasn't the number 1 guy in the division when you knocked him out. You know, but outside of that, like, what have you really done in your career? You know, so, but we'll see if he can bounce back from his loss. But from the body language and from the energy that I picked up on from that Harrison Charlo press conference, I don't know. I really don't know. Yeah, but that's all I got. And I'll leave you guys with that.
All right,
good call as usual, Fight Doctor.
Thank you, Fight Doctor. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Just say, please, Robbie. People in the chat ask me what I'm cracking up about. All through the call, I can hear Beeb going, please, Robbie. Please, Robbie.
Well, he loves to do that. That's his new favorite phrase.
Please, Robbie.
All right, so let's go to the news and rumors now. And the big one, man, let's see, the big one is Manny Pacquiao. It was announced last night. Manny Pacquiao and Keith Thurman is now set for July 20th on Fox pay-per-view. No site announced yet, but the fight is set for July 20th. Robert, you like it?
I like it, man. I think Pacquiao wins. I think Pacquiao wins.
I'm picking Pacquiao too.
I think Spence beats Porter, and I think you see Spence fight Pacquiao for all the titles.
I don't think Pacquiao's going to fight Spence.
Pacquiao ain't coming after Spence. Are you kidding me? There ain't no way.
He ain't going to fight Spence.
Do you think this is a
well? Then he'll retire because
no.
That's the way I see it.
No. He's going to hold that. He's going to fight who he wants to fight, Robbie. Yeah. That's how it goes.
I think Thurman beats him.
I
think Thurman beats him. You know, listen, man, it's got to come to an end at some point. You know, I mean,
Not now.
Eric, you keep saying that, but he keeps winning.
He does, man. He does. And my thing is, I don't want to see Pacquiao get De La Hoya'd. You remember the beating that Pacquiao put on De La Hoya? I don't want to see that happen to Pacquiao.
Well, you know what? You know what? That's exactly what's going to happen because.
Stop it.
Do you honestly think that Sean Porter's got any kind of chance against Errol Spence?
No,
I don't. I think it's going to be a better fight than we think it's going to be, but no.
Yeah. But I don't see Keith Thurman beating Manny Pacquiao. I really don't. And if Spence does to Porter what I think he's going to do, I think there's going to be no choice because Crawford's not going to get in the ring with Spence, so it's got to be Pacquiao, don't you think?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Well, I think that, listen, man, I think Crawford, is ready to fight him anytime. But, let's just use logic here. I mean,
Bob Arum and Al Heyman won't allow it.
Well, Pacquiao, they're all PBC fighters. You know what I mean? With the exception of Crawford. Crawford's the odd man looking in. So...
That's right.
Yeah, those fights are very easy to make. They're a lot easier than Crawford Spence. So, I mean, it's just logical that fight is nowhere on the horizon. So, yeah, exactly. But I do like the fight. I don't like the fact that it's on pay-per-view. But Pacquiao's fights are always on pay-per-view.
That's right.
I don't think. Do you guys think it's a pay-per-view fight?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It's Manny Pacquiao, for Christ's sakes.
And look, Eric, I do think Pacquiao will get De La Hoya by
He's a legend.
He's a legend.
He's a legend.
He is. I can't even. He is. Like I said, I want him to lose because I don't want to see him get beaten up.
Okay.
I don't want to see him get beaten like the Ali Holmes or like De La Hoya Pacquiao. I don't want to see that happen to him, man.
He'll be all right.
Yeah, I guess he will. I guess he will. Screw it. Let him get beat up. I don't care.
Oh, I don't want to get. Well, he won't get beat up. He's a legend.
He's a savage, man. Beeb's a savage.
No, he's a legend. He won't get beat up.
He doesn't care.
Yeah,
as long as he doesn't fight Spence or Crawford, he'll be fine.
Yeah, Spence will kill that.
Well, he's going to fight Spence. Beeb, come on.
He's not going to fight him, Robbie. I just don't see it happening. He's not going to do it. Just like he didn't fight.
He's going to want that belt.
Well, think about it. Why didn't he fight Crawford when he was over there? When Crawford was over there,
yeah,
over
he was
top
rank
rank
and didn't fight Crawford.
He's not stupid.
I know.
He's not stupid.
No, I didn't say he was. That's why he'll be the future president of the Philippines.
Please, Robbie, let's not go.
No way.
So let me just say this. What do you think Crawford's thinking right now, seeing Pacquiao get these fights that he should be getting?
Man, that's a good question. That's a real good question.
Well, that's why I said.
And this is a guy that was at top rank. Same time he was at top rank, he was the man. He had to play second fiddle to him, and he was supposed to get the torch passed to him by this guy. And now this guy's over there wrecking shop, making pay-per-view money again. Yeah. Probably getting $20 million a fight. Well, and those are the paydays that he should be getting. So he didn't get the torch passed to him.
Well, and not only that, he's looking at his nemesis, Errol Spence now, getting the big pay-per-views. Spence just got a big pay-per-view. He's got a big on Fox, big fight coming up on Fox. It's going to lead to another pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm Crawford and he may be making more money than, maybe he makes more money non-pay-per-view than the other welterweights, but yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. If I were him, I'd be.
That's why I questioned when he re-signed with Top Rank, man. Because let's face it, if you're 147, you got to be PBC, man. That's where it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just like if you're 160, you got to be with the zone. That's just it. You know what I mean? If you're 160, you got to be with the zone. Just is.
That's the way it goes.
Yeah. I mean, if you want those titles, they're across the street, son. All right, so let me ask you this, and this question kind of popped in my head here. All right, so we said Fox pay-per-view.
Correct.
PBC on Fox pay-per-view, not Showtime pay-per-view.
Correct.
Fox
That's right.
pay-per-view.
That's right.
Tell me about this, man. Is Showtime getting the short end of the stick here, man?
Well, Eric, Showtime is getting the PBC leftovers. Let's face it, because PBC is putting their best foot forward to, cash in on this Fox deal. That's exactly what's happening here. That's why you don't see very many fights on Showtime, is because Al Heyman and company are putting their best foot forward on Fox because, let's face it, Fox is actually paying them more money right now than Showtime is.
It's in a Robbie kicking knowledge.
Yeah, Robbie's on fire tonight. He's on fire tonight. All right, let's go to 805. Robert, that's your area.
Nacho.
It's Nacho Libre.
805, you're live.
What's up, Nacho?
What's up, Nacho Libre?
Nothing much, Beeb. I see how you've been killing Robbie all day today about his case, telling him, please, Robbie. That's been pretty interesting. As far as the fights last night, I was really surprised at how good Williams looked. I predicted before the fight that I thought that Williams would be competitive for about 7-8 rounds, and then eventually Hurd would break him down and get a late stoppage. But I have to give his corner a lot of credit because they came up with a really good game plan as far as nullifying Hurd on the inside. They were able to get Williams to hold and smother anything that Hurd tried to do on the inside. And when Hurd actually did let his hands go on the inside, Williams was able to respond right back and not let him get any kind of confidence thinking that the tide had turned at any point. And I agree with a couple of the people who have been saying that Hurd's corner didn't really do him any favors. It kind of felt like they thought that eventually Williams was going to fold at some point, that Hurd's pressure would just eventually get to him and they would be able to stop him and get the win. But you could see after about 6 rounds that wasn't the case, that Williams was in there and he was fighting back and he was holding his own against Hurd. And I thought that from that point on, they started to panic and they made a huge mistake in not trying to get Hurd to, not sit on the inside and let Williams push him backwards when he was on the ropes. He just never made any kind of adjustment. And the one thing that was really surprising was that Hurd never bothered to throw any kind of a jab. He would just walk in face first, and he would let Williams just swing at him and tee off. And that surprised me because I honestly thought that Hurd's corner would eventually figure out that Williams isn't going to just fold here. That we need to start picking up the pace and adding more of a jab to try to get him to open up a little bit, and he didn't, and it ended up costing him the fight. And I thought that the scorecards were about right. That's what I had Williams winning by. I had him winning 116 or 111. It was hilarious, though, to see Dan Raphael on Twitter trying to sit there and convince people that Jarrett Hurd had won that fight by a point. After I saw that, I was like, you got to be kidding me. That fight was completely one-sided towards Williams, and you're going to sit there and try to say that Hurd won that fight? That's just...
when somebody like Dan Raphael says crap like that, it makes me wonder how in the hell he gets paid by somebody to actually write. Because, come on. You're supposed to know boxing, and you come out and you make a stupid statement like that? Get real.
Yeah, well, exactly, Robbie. I felt like that was just complete hometown bias on Dan Raphael's part because he's from the Virginia area, and I just felt like he was trying to give the hometown guy some home cooking, and you could clearly see that Hurd didn't win that fight, so that was just ridiculous. I definitely would like to see what kind of adjustments Hurd makes if they do end up going directly to a rematch. But maybe I think what Hurd should do is go back into the gym and add some to his game before he takes that rematch, because I don't see him being able to just walk into the rematch with the same game plan and being able to beat J-Rock. I think he's got to make some adjustments in order to win the second fight. So it'll be interesting to see if they allow him to take the rematch right away, or if they decide to take a fight in between before he takes on Williams again.
Well, in a way, I hope that Hurd fights somebody else in between, because that would open the door for J-Rock to take on the winner of Charlo and Harrison. And that would give him another belt if he wins.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if something like that happens, where they try to do the unification first before they give Hurd another crack at him, for sure. I mean, that might be the most, lot said, but we'll see what happens, I guess. As far as the other fights, I thought Kobrov got screwed again by the judges. I thought he completely outclassed Aleem last night. I think Aleem did much of anything. I thought Kobrov landed the harder, more telling shots, and Aleem just kind of, coasted through for most of the fight. Having some spurts of offense here and there, but he didn't do enough for me to get a draw on.
No, Matt Korboff clearly won that fight. Come on.
Yeah, and it's so unfortunate that he's gotten screwed for a second time again by the judges. But at this point, he's got to figure out a way to start knocking guys out instead of letting it go to the cards, because he's never going to win a decision at this rate. And then the other fight, Barrios looked good blowing out that guy, because Prograis fought him last, and Prograis had to go some rounds before he was able to take that guy out, and Barrios knocked him clean out in 2 rounds with a really nasty hook to the body. And that was really interesting that he took him out so quickly. I do like that he called out some of the guys in the division, whoever has a title. But unfortunately for him, I mean, there's really no one available right now, because with Prograis and Taylor being in the tournament with their belts, and then Jose Ramirez is talking about trying to do a unification against Maurice Hooker, Barrios might just have to, bide his time and wait until that whole situation clears up before he gets a title shot. But I think the kid is a live dog against any of them, whoever ends up with the belt. I think that's right. I think he could be a competitive fight for any of them. And then with the Top Rank card, I said it all along. I never understood why Dog Bay and his team agreed to jump back into the rematch against Navarrete. I just felt like that matchup was just a terrible style for Dog Bay, and that you're fighting a guy who's almost half a foot taller, and he's got a really long reach, and he likes to box. He doesn't like to bang. And I just felt like it was a terrible mistake on their part to go back to the immediate rematch. But they did, and you saw the result. There was nothing different. Navarrete put on the clinic last night, just completely teeing off on him from the outside. Dog Bay wasn't really able to land anything significant for the most part. And Navarrete just took him apart. And I agree with you. I honestly thought after round 8, his dad should have pulled the plug on that fight. He basically let his son get beat up for 3 more rounds for no reason. I think he could have stopped that fight after round 8, because at that point, Dog Bay had no chance of winning a decision, and I just felt like he was just taking a beating at that point. He had no chance of winning that fight, and he just let him get beat up practically till the very end of the fight till he decided to stop it. So I agree with you saying that his dad did him no favors, and it was a terrible decision to let him keep fighting. I don't think Dog Bay will do much better at featherweight, because he's such a small guy that it's like, and he doesn't have like fight-changing power. So for him to take on guys who are going to be way bigger than him, like Oscar Valdez or Carl Frampton or Josh Warrington or whoever else he takes on at featherweight, he's going to be at a disadvantage in every conceivable realm. So it doesn't make any sense for him to move up to 26.
Nope.
So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with him moving forward, because he, honestly, if anything, if there was a way for him to make 118, I think that would be his best bet.
Yeah, that's a good point.
26, he's just going to be he's going to be a really small featherweight. I think he'd be better as a bantamweight right now at this point than being a featherweight. And then with he's too small. And then with the other fight with Burchell and Vargas, I knew Vargas was on his last legs, and this was basically his last stand for him to try to see if he could go out there and win a title and maybe try to make some money. But Burchell just proved to be the bigger, younger, fresher fighter last night, and he took it to him, and you could see that fight as after about round 3, even though Vargas was landing at times and he was, landing clean shots, he wasn't able to affect Burchell in any way. He wasn't able to hurt him. He wasn't able to, rock him or anything. And Burchell was just tagging him, and he started to slice up his face. And that's always been Vargas' issue, is that he's never been able to keep his skin from busting up and, causing him to, bleed. And unfortunately, it came back to haunt him again last night. As soon as he started getting hit hard and he got cut up, it was pretty much downhill from there. And Joel Diaz and his team did him really good. They did a really good thing in stopping that fight when they did, because at that point, Burchell was just going to start to tee off on him, and there was no point in letting that guy get beat up for another, 6 rounds. So it's a good win for Burchell. I hope, like he said, he gets the winner of the Ito Herring fight, and it's going to take place next week. Or if not, maybe he can go after Tevin Farmer, possibly, because Farmer is out there, and he does have the other belt. The only fight that they can't make is for Gervonta Davis, because the PDC will never allow him to fight anybody who's not in the PDC side of the street. And I saw that the fight was made last night between Thurman and Pacquiao. I'm picking Manny. At this point, I'm still not convinced that Thurman is all the way back. I think he needed at least one more fight to really shake off the rust. And for him to be taking this fight so quickly, it just feels like he thinks that Manny is, vulnerable and he's beatable. But I didn't see anything that he did that was convincing me that he's going to be able to beat Manny. So I think Manny should get him. And it'll be interesting to see what happens after that fight between those two. Although I was surprised that they made that Caleb Plant Mike Lee fight. Mike Lee has never fought at super middleweight. He's been at light heavy his entire career. Is he actually going to be even able to make 116 without having issues?
I think he will, and the reason why he has that's why he hasn't been getting any fights at 175. I don't know if he's with the wrong promoter or what, but Mike Lee is a good fighter, and I think he had to take this fight at 168 because otherwise he's going to continue to be out of the ring, and Mike Lee does not deserve to be out of the ring. I don't know if he wins, but I do think it'll be a competitive fight.
That's a good fight.
Well, it'll be interesting to see Robbie.
Man, I don't know what you guys are looking at. Mike Lee does not come close to winning this fight. It's a 9-3 fight.
I didn't say he would win, Eric. But I do think he'll make it competitive.
Competitive as in what? Just standing up for the final bell? I mean, Mike Lee's not. He doesn't have a chance against Caleb Plant. No way. No way. All right, Nacho.
I don't think Plant will blow him out.
Thank you so much for the call.
See you later.
All right, thanks, guys.
He always breaks down fights really well, man. That's what I like about Nacho. He always.
Oh, he does. Yeah, he's very good. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, couple quick notes here, and then we'll go back. It looks like Corey's on the line here, and remember 9:00, man. We got to go. Game of Thrones, baby. Beeb. Burt Cooper, man. Smoking Burt Cooper passed away at the age of 53. Cooper was known for his fights with Evander Holyfield and Michael Moore. This guy, I was really sad to hear this, man. He was a really good fighter, man. He reminded me a lot of Arturo Gatti in the sense that every time he fought, you knew it was going to be a war. You know, back in his prime and stuff like that, when he fought, man, you knew it was going to be a fight. You were going to have a fight on your hands. Now, whether he won or lost, it didn't matter. But you knew there was going to be a fight. And he was literally just seconds away from becoming heavyweight champion of the world. He almost beat Evander Holyfield that night. He was right there. I mean, he was right there, man. But it just wasn't to be. And another sad one, man. Harold Letterman of HBO fame passed away yesterday. Letterman was 79. HBO's unofficial official, was on HBO for over 30 years. I don't ever remember a time when he wasn't on HBO. You know, just real sad, man.
Yeah, he started in 1986.
Yeah, aside from being a judge, Letterman was a licensed pharmacist. He's also a member of the International Boxing Hall of Fame. And then, of course, everybody knows Julie Letterman is now a judge as well, so she followed in his footsteps. Man, that sucks, man. I saw that one yesterday. That one surprised me. That one really surprised me.
I was sad.
I was too, man. That was, it's Letterman, man. Harold Letterman, man. And the worst part about it is that Robert always messed with Harold Letterman, man. Always dumped on him for his scorecards and everything like that. You're a complete savage, dude. Why would you do that to somebody? Especially now.
Yes, no
hey,
respect.
Eric, like Beeb said earlier, everybody picked on Harold Letterman's scorecard.
How dare you, bro?
I never said that.
Said anything like that, man.
Do you have the transcripts?
You just dumped all over him, boy. I would ask if Lois had transcripts.
Yeah,
she
well,
was a blow-up doll.
hey, R.I.P.
It's Mother's Day.
R.I.P.
Stop. Lois, don't do it, Lois. It's all right. I'll talk to him later.
All right.
So let's go back to the phones here. From somebody in the chat said, from Reese Mack in the chat said, from Mike Lee to Corey Lee, 804. And I'm sure he's heartbroken today, man. 804, you're live.
You related to Mike Lee, Corey?
What, does he have to drive through again? He can't answer? He's
Hello,
at the drive-thru.
Corey.
He's at the drive-thru. He can't answer. Hey, man, call me back. I'm at CVS
Oh, my
right
God.
now. I'm picking up something.
Corey?
Yeah, he ain't answering. All right.
Corey.
Nothing we can do. Corey.
Corey.
Bueller? You know?
Bueller. That's right. Oh, man, Robbie's killing him tonight. Bueller.
Corey.
Bueller.
Corey.
Bueller.
Yeah.
Let's give him 2 more seconds here. 804, Corey, is that you? Get out of here.
He's gone, man.
He's gone. Ain't
gone.
nothing we can do about it. Went to him. Nothing I can do. Corey messing with the mafias. Maybe that might have happened. I don't know what happened to Corey. He ghosted us, son. He ghosted us like a date, like a bad date or something like that.
Ghosted us like a bad date on Zeusk.
Right.
Maybe at Dunkin' Donuts for a coffee. You're sitting there for an hour waiting, and no one shows up.
Here.
That's the worst. Robbie told me about that.
Right. Yeah, Robert's. I heard Robert's on a ton of dating apps, son. Man, he's cleaning up over there.
Meet me at Publix so we can share a slush puppy.
Publix.
90 seconds.
Such a fool, son. What is Publix? It's Publix.
Publix.
Phonics, son. Phonics.
Meet me at Publix. We can share a slushie and a Slim Jim.
I wouldn't buy anything from Publix.
Oh, my God.
I would buy something from Publix,
brother.
not Publix. Big difference.
All right.
Kobeer, salute. JC, salute. Joel Lopez, salute. Respect,
60
salute.
seconds.
Manny Gatillo, definitely salute, man. The Funktopus, salute. Tony, salute. Jason, you're out there somewhere, salute. JC, salute. All right, man, and that should do it for this edition. Hey, it's a hard out at 9. What am I going to do, man? Game of Thrones on. Game of Thrones. Hey, Beeb, I think we should do a for because a lot of people watch Games of Thrones. I think we should do a like a quick podcast or something like that during the middle of the week or something like that, and talking about Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I want to.
Because the last episode's next week. Yeah. Last episode's next week.
We got two more. There's tonight. Yeah, next week's the last one. So yeah.
Robbie, next week is the last one, please. For Christ's sakes.
10 seconds.
Oh, come on, Beeb.
The worst part is you disrespected Harold Letterman. That's the worst part of it.
I'll never get over that.
Oh, come on.
You disrespected him. It's terrible. It's terrible. Terrible. Robert's been on fire tonight, man. He really has. So, all right, guys, that'll do it for this edition of Ringside Reporter. As always, you can catch Robert on Twitter at Ringside Robert, or you can call Ringside Robbie's Corner at
area code 773-572-7781.
There you
pick
go.
it up, Robbie.
And leave him a message. You can catch Joe Habib on Twitter at jhabib1 and find our YouTube channel at ringsidereporterlive.com. I'm at Ringside73, and we will see you next week. Happy Mother's Day to everyone.
Happy Mother's Day to everybody.
That's what
Yeah, happy Mother's Day to everybody. We'll see you next week.
All right, please, Robbie.
B. You're such a savage.